Greetings, geeks and nerds and ladies universe and white and nerdy. And it's time to jump back into the realm of Power Rangers, talking about a series that is actually 20 years old. I'm so old because I remember when this series first premiered. So yes, we are actually talking about Power Ranger Dino Thunder, one of my absolute favorite seasons ever, and it definitely was in my top 5 of favorite seasons. This was, in my opinion, and still is kind of an underrated season right next to Power Rangers Ninja Storm. Like, there's not too many people that would actually talk about this great and amazing series that we actually had. So, yes, Power Ranger Dino Thunder is the, give me a minute, Mighty Morphin Zeo Turbo, In Space, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, Wild Force, Ninja Storm is the 10th involving in the series, and actually was the appearance of the 500th episode of Power Rangers by that point. We'll get to a little bit of fun facts here and there for me and everything that I want to talk about with this series, but in any case, in any regards, we're actually going to talk about Power Rangers Dino Thunder, and look at this pretty cover, except it's missing Trent. No, sorry, Joseph. There's no love for you. Sorry. Somewhere out there, Joseph Palazzo is probably watching this, sobbing his eyes out, and he doesn't know why. Either that or he's listening to this somehow and off in like a distant universe, crying his eyes out, going, "They forgot me." So, but we're going to talk about Power Ranger Dino Thunder. But first, before we move on into the cast and characters, which are a brilliant cast and character bunch in this, we're actually going to talk about the plot. So, what is Power Ranger Dino Thunder all about? Well, let's find out. So, let's talk about the convenient, I suppose, in parentheses, because it's kind of like really wild and out there, man. So, let's talk about the plot of Power Ranger Dino Thunder. A new evil has arisen. A new evil that nobody has ever thought possible. And it's up to one man to try to unite a team together, for he is the oldest still living Power Ranger. Dr. Thomas Tommy Oliver will try to have to unite the team together and escape the island with his life, knowing that he has to face off against the two people he once called friends. And there's a trio of heroes that will have to be joined together in order to become the next team of Power Rangers, known only to the world as the Power Ranger Dino Thunder.
Rangers, combine your weapons. Right!
Seaworks Blaster, ready, fire!
Or if they don't come together, the world of evil will forever be triumphed, and Mesogog, the Terrible, will soon take over the entire world and enslave humanity. Alright, the plot is as goofy and the concept of it you can believe. I mean, it's fucking Power Rangers. Did you really expect the plot to be like all simplistic and appealing? No, you didn't. Because if you did, then it would be very and it would be very appealing. And why did the cloud emit the sun? Yeah, you turn the light off to save energy and just use the sunlight, and then the sun goes behind the clouds. So yes, I'm flipping off the clouds. So, but anyways, the plot is very convenient, but it does work for this series. A mysterious villain who sits behind the shadows and further awaits commands, because he kind of has a Jekyll and Hyde persona, which I'm not actually going to talk about the villains, but there we go, of this series, even though they're all awesome and everything. But we're mostly going to focus on the heroes of the series. Actually, I'm redundant to that. We will actually talk about the villains also, too. But we'll actually talk mostly about we'll see. I might talk about the villains, I might skip them over, so we'll see. I'm very kind of all over the place in here. But we're actually going to talk about the heroes of the series, the Power Rangers themselves, all 5 of them. Sorry, Jeffrey. He is absent on this cover. Sorry, Jeff. So, but anyways, let's actually talk about the main characters of the series and who they are and what they have come to do. So, let's break down the characters and save the most important one for last. So, let's talk about the characters of the series. So, who are our Power Rangers? Well, let's count down the list, starting with Connor McKnight, the Red Tyranno Ranger, played by James Napier. And most of what we know about Connor is that he is an insane soccer player, and he wants to be the best in the world by proving himself and getting himself out there, and then also getting himself sponsored. But his life takes a sudden strange twist when he ends up obtaining the Red Dino Gem and obtaining the powers of the Tyrannosaurus and also joining Ethan and Kira. And Connor somehow, throughout this experience, gains the power of super speed. I really wish that I was joking, but you cannot make this shit up because Power Rangers. But while James was very happy to join the team, Connor, he admittedly, started to make a change for the worse or the change for the better for himself. As mostly what all Connor wants to do is play soccer, and he wants to become good at it and maybe join the league at one point. But of course, being a Power Ranger is going to get on the way of that. Which of course, he was so hell-bent on quitting, but that is until a little girl gave him the courage and the heart to become the best Red Ranger and the best Power Ranger he could ever be. A hero is someone who makes sacrifices. A hero is a person that knows that sometimes the greater good means making the greatest sacrifice. And Connor sacrificing his own needs, wants, and necessities in order to become a superhero was the best Power Rangers moment ever. And it's the reason why Connor is one of my personal favorite Red Rangers. It's because of this small moment where he actually made himself to be more of the hero than meets the eye, as Connor was definitely a hero hidden in red dressing. As Connor was especially really destined for greatness when he achieved the Shield of Triumph and becoming the Red Triassic Ranger and able to kick a whole lot of ass.
Sword of Triumph, activate!
No matter which way that you spin it for Connor, though, he definitely became one of the best Red Rangers who ever lived and was a great leader and great addition to an already amazing team. Ethan James, the Blue Triceratops Ranger, played by the great Kevin Duhane. As we know that Ethan is completely a hacker, as he is definitely one of those people that definitely had the brain instead of brawn and lacking in basically his own brain skills. As Ethan was definitely one of the Rangers that was against the other two, but it also had the best banter behind most of the arguments in the series.
10 years from now, when your hairline's receding and you're playing pickup soccer in the park because your dreams of turning pro never quite worked out, I'll have my own multi-billion-dollar software business.
And the one thing that we definitely find out about Ethan is that he's a gamer through and through, and he's mostly looking at a computer screen or a monitor. But like a good hero, Ethan is not always thinking about himself, making and willing to make sacrifices for his other Dino Thunder brethren and Dino Thunder Rangers. And we also find out that thanks to the Dino Gem, Ethan gains the power of basically an indestructible or hardened skin that also kinda gives him super strength, maybe?
Something's happening to me.
While Ethan is the brainiac behind this series, I will say one thing about Kevin that you can't really say about David in a sense, and by David I mean David Yost. Kevin had been written to be nerdy, but not over the top like David Yost in Season 1 Billy. I'm a Billy fan as much as the next guy or gal, but Season 1 Billy is where I draw the line. His talk and nerdiness really takes the fun out of the series. But I'm glad that with both Kevin's performance and also the writing team, that Ethan is definitely one of the better Blue Rangers that can sit right there and talk science babble or technology babble without necessarily gabbing your ear off, as he was the perfect combination of both nerdy and awesomeness combined into one brilliant little package. But underneath his tough exterior, Ethan definitely has a heart of gold, which this series reminds us time and time again that he is just one of the best Rangers with a pure heart. And we have to say that Ethan probably had the best fashion sense above all the other Rangers, as with every episode he's looking more fly than the last one. one really awesome fun fact before I move on to talking about our next Ranger. Eth, Kevin Duhoney is actually a huge fan of Power Rangers, and specifically, his favorite Ranger is Tommy Oliver, played by the great and legendary Jason David Frank. So you can imagine what Kevin's reaction might have been. Well, Ethan or Kevin, pick your poison. What his reaction might have been when they told him, "Hey, you're gonna be working with one of your favorite Power Rangers of all time." I can imagine what his reaction probably might have been.
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
Kira Ford, the Yellow Pterodactyl Ranger, played by the great Emma Lahana. As one thing we learn about Kira is that she loves to sing and play the guitar, mostly for a career choice and also for some time to relax herself from the day-to-day life and stress that she goes through.
Miss Ford, I'm afraid you need written permission to perform on school grounds. Let's go. Are you aware that kids who play an instrument have a 50...
But Kira is a faithful friend and also a faithful fighter, which she gains the obscure/weird/everything Black Canary probably involved dino jump powers of Super Screens.
Help her up.
But much like Connor, Kira wanted nothing to do with the team, and in fact actually wanted to drop out as soon as the second episode premiered and hit. But as we learn that she is a faithful friend and a faithful ally to the team, and despite of what happens and what she does, she will carry the rest of her time singing her life away. Whether she's singing or fighting crime as the Great Yellow Ranger, she will definitely be behind her team 110%, 24/7, and 365 days out of the crime-fighting year. I'm surprised that Emma Lahane did not actually do anything with her singing, because she is actually quite a talented singer. And in fact, I actually really do enjoy her singing voice. It's quite beautiful and it's actually quite pleasant to listen to. Though I'm surprised that she hasn't done anything with it, but then again, even if she probably had appeared on something like Masked Singer, we'll say for example, I'd probably be able to call out her own voice and maybe her own career. Then again, maybe not, because her singing voice also sounds like a very young Kelly Clarkson, so maybe not. But I really have to say, I'm just kind of shocked that for Emma, she didn't do anything really special with her singing voice, and I'm kind of that guy that goes, she should have, because I would have been supporting her all the way. Trent Fernandez Mercer, played by Jeffrey Perazzo. And before he became the White Dragon Ranger, we learned that Trent doesn't have a great relationship with his adopted father, Anton Mercer, who just so happens to care more about himself and his own wealth than his own son.
It's not crazy about you telling me not to draw anymore.
Trent, when your parents disappeared, you and I agreed that I would act as your father.
But Trent would eventually find the evil and corrupted White Dino Gem. Being under control of it, he actually becomes more possessed by the thing as it turns him evil. As yes, for a long time, just like Tommy Oliver himself, Trent would eventually become one of the deadliest adversaries of the Power Rangers, the White Ranger. As eventually his father would soon save his own son's life, and what's more, by a cause of accident, break the evil hold of the Dino Gem, thus turning Trent for an agent for good. And Trent would eventually become a force for good and a force really and definitely to be reckoned with, and even though he had to gain the Power Ranger trust, he did so with the heart of a hero. And finally, Dr. Tommy Oliver, the Black Brachio Ranger, played by the great and legendary Jason David Frank. And Tommy was there when the incident first started, when he saw his two best friends turned into the forces of evil, and Tommy knew that it was time to go back straight into action. But of course, this time being older than he was before, Tommy decides to get to Eastside Bay, or Bayside High School, where he would become a teacher. Wanting to quiet down and basically try to forget the horrors of his life ever happened, Tommy decides to become the next thing that basically could suffer horrors, a high school teacher. As the series decided to turn Tommy into a mentor towards the Rangers, and in fact, it actually did work because I actually like the character of Tommy as a mentor more as a Ranger. As this was a great variation and transformation of the Tommy Oliver character. We've seen him go from a teenager to actually joining college, coming back in Power Rangers Wild Force with the episode Forever Red, which I'll have to review at some point on the channel, to then becoming a high school teacher and Power Ranger mentor. And in fact, I absolutely loved it. And I thought it was a great character transformation. Which, of course, yes, I will talk about what happened in just a little bit. But fun fact, when I was basically when the series came out, between 8 to 9 years old, on my birthday, my parents took me to Toys R Us, rest in peace, Jeffrey, and bought me a Power Ranger Dino Thunder White Ranger with one of the white Raptor cycles, which is unfortunately not in the series, surprisingly. As I read one of the card blurbs on the toy packaging saying that there was going to be a return of a legendary Ranger. This came out before Power Ranger Dino Thunder came out, mind you, and we're talking about the return of a great Ranger. I looked at my sister, who was older than me by this point, and I looked at her and said that this means the return of Tommy. My sister said that I was wrong for thinking so. How is that for little boy points calling this immediate moment straight afterwards? But if you're a Tommy fan, and if you know that Tommy or Jason David Frank is still one of the most popular Power Rangers out there, then you know that it would have been unforeseeable, and also it was just plain necessary to have him become a Power Ranger. Because when Tommy becomes captive, they are told through Haley, who may or may not have had a relationship with Tommy in the series, they never specified it, but I like to make that a theory of it, that the Power Rangers found out that their teacher was once a very legendary Power Ranger, and that he is the greatest Power Ranger who ever thus lived. Suck it, Jason! As Tommy was kidnapped by Mesogog in order to help him obtain a dino gem that's hidden inside of some carbonite or whatever. But of course, Tommy is resilient to help him.
Yes, it is for you. There's that wit again. If I had a sense of humor, I might actually enjoy it. I'll handle.
But this moment is what would lead to one of the greatest returns in all Power Ranger history. As the Rangers think that Tommy had disappeared because of the Dino Jump powers, he thus reappeared to give us the most badass reintroduction ever. But fun fact for all of you guys about the Black Ranger suit that Jason David Frank wore in Dino Thunder, it was one of his favorite suits that he ever wore, and also is one of his favorite Ranger outfits of all time. So when the series ended, the story is that he stole the Black Ranger outfit and never returned it. This is the reason why he shares a great relationship with his daughter, Jenna Ray Frank, who also has cosplayed or dressed up a lot as the Dino Thunder Black Ranger. So it's nice to see that there is a, father-daughter relationship there, which, okay, that is pretty damn awesome that they can share such a loving and respectful relationship, even if it's over something nerdy or dorky, as some people would say, like a Power Ranger outfit. That is still so goddamn respectful and adorable, and is the reason why I love the father-daughter relationship of both Jenna and Jason. As the greatest moment out of the entire Dino Thunder season is the episode Fighting Spirit, in which in it, Tommy had to refight with his dark and evil side. As Tommy needs to remind himself who exactly he is, the greatest Power Ranger who ever lived, or just an old high school ordinary teacher. What do you think his answer was? He fought back against his old Ranger forms in order to regain what he had lost, his true self, giving himself back what he needed to become the greatest Black Ranger who ever lived. As Power Ranger Dino Thunder had a great beginning, it also had one amazing and hell of an ending with the final two-parter known only as Thunderstruck. which gave our new team of Rangers a very proper send-off, at least before the next season began, and before we would ever see them return on the big screen with the new team of Rangers. I didn't touch upon it, but Power Rangers Dino Thunder also had one of the most amazing villains in the form of Mezigod, aka Anton Mercer, which is a beautifully played young job by the actor behind it, so he deserves a huge applause and a huge congratulations. But is Power Rangers Dino Thunder well worthy a series? Yes, it is one of the best series that you can ever watch. Like I said, it's kind of like overshadowed, like not too many people are talking about it, which is very sad in my opinion, but I recommend that people should give it a pick up and at least give it a watch. It's a fantastic series with some great written stories and including the return of the greatest Power Ranger of them all. So, if you want yourself a great series to watch, or if you want to honor the memory of the great Jason David Frank, here is the best way to do it. So pick it out and go Dino-tastic with some great Power Ranger Dino Thunder. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me at Twitter, link in the description down below. Every universe, I want you to keep eking on. And please do check out Power Ranger Dino Thunder. It is a fantastic series. But I'm sorry to say that we're going to be done talking about Power Rangers for a while, especially since as of next month, it starts Lazy Ween pretty soon towards the tail end of September, then Lazy Ween on October, then a few reviews in November before I end up doing the Christmas theme reviews as well as my top 10 of the year list. So, we're done with Power Rangers just for this year. I mean, there's always next year, you know. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me at Twitter, link in the description down below. I believe you never have what you keep eking on. And until next time, take care. Next time, we're going back into the world of anime to talk about a very strange and magical girl who goes on some pretty weird adventures. And we're going to check out 4 OVA episodes of Shakugan no Shana.